We're holding today's meeting at Dennett Road Educational Complex. There will be no public comment at the 4 o'clock session. We will be going into executive following this brief synopsis, and we'll come back around 6 p.m. Under Section 3-305B of the General Provisions Article of Maryland Annotated Code, there's one reason the board will go into closed session this evening: to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, and other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. Specifically, the topics for tonight will be 3-305B1, topic including alternate student board member for 26-27, certificated staffing recommendations and update, and GCBOE ethics panel recommendations. The reason these topics be discussed in closed session rather than open session is as follows. The personnel topics pursuant to 3-305B1 disclosed above will be considered in closed session rather than open session because they include a discussion of specific employees, which is a confidential employment matter. Hearing that, are there any objections to the board going into executive session? Since there is none, is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
So moved by Rodney, seconded by Don. All those in favor of going into executive session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. And we are in executive session. Don will call you back hopefully right at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Again, thank you for joining our June the 9th, 2026 Board of Education meeting. Would ask that each of you please stand for a moment of silence to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by our student member to the board. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all. Thank you, Cadence. First order of business is to adopt the agenda. Take a motion to adopt the public agenda. Motion by Sadie, seconded by Jane. All those in favor of the agenda as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Opposed, nay. And it is unanimous. Approval of consent agenda. Take a motion for the consent agenda. So moved by Jane,
Second.
seconded by Rodney. All those in favor of the consent agenda, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. And it is unanimous. As has been our policy for the past few months, or actually probably a little over a year now, closed session summary and announcements are on our webpage, and certainly anything that you need to know about Garrett County Schools news-wise or in the past can be found on our webpage. Tonight we start with recognitions, and we do have a couple of recognitions that we want to present. The first one is the Charlotte A. Seabolt Scholarship recipient, and that goes to our outgoing student member, and I've asked Ms. Lillard to make that presentation.
Okay. Well, the Charlotte A. Seabold Scholarship recipient for the 2025-26 school year is Miss Cadence Natividad. Congratulations to Cadence Natividad, a recent graduate of Southern High School. You have been awarded the Charlotte A. Seabold Scholarship as administered through the Garrett County Board of Education. Your total award is $500. This scholarship is named in honor of Mrs. Charlotte Seabold, a former board member who dedicated 28 years to the Garrett County Board of Education. Just as Mrs. Seabold worked diligently to collaborate with fellow board members, the superintendent, school staff, students, and community members, you have demonstrated a strong appreciation for the input of all of these groups. You have balanced strong academics, acted as a vital bridge for your peers, and provided mature, insightful perspective to the school system's administrators, and board members. This award is a result of your outstanding academic performance, leadership, and advocacy as the student member of the Board of Education for the 24-25 and the 25-26 school years. We hope that this scholarship, your education with Garrett County Public Schools, and your experience as a student member of the board make a lasting impact on your life. The Garrett County Board of Education wishes you much success in your continued education at the University of Maryland and in your professional pursuits. Cadence has been an amazing board member. I'm going to miss her tremendously. I can't wait to see what she does at the University of Maryland. She's a strong role model for other young ladies in this county.
Yes, please, let's get a picture.
Can the whole board come in the picture?
We sure can. We would be honored.
Sure you keep me updated on everything you do.
Our other presentation tonight will be National Board Certified Teachers. I've asked Dr. Wilson to make that presentation.
Good evening. It is with pleasure that we are proud to recognize and celebrate the outstanding educators in our school system who have achieved National Board Certification for the fiscal year 2026. This prestigious accomplishment reflects their dedication to the excellence in teaching, commitment to professional growth, and an unwavering focus on student success. We commend their hard work and celebrate them for this milestone. Annalee Burgess was certified in English Language Arts, Adolescence and Youth Adulthood. April Fleming, certified in English Language Arts, Adolescence and Youth Adulthood as well. Leah Shaw, certified in Music, Early Adolescence and Young Adulthood. And Melissa Pyle, certified as Art, Early Adolescent and Youth Adulthood too. National Board Certification is a professional certificate available in education and provides numerous benefits to students, teachers, and schools. It was designed to develop, retain, and recognize accomplished teachers and to generate ongoing improvement in schools nationwide. Recognized as a gold standard in teaching certificate, the National Board believes high standards for teachers mean better learning for students. Candidates must demonstrate advanced knowledge, skills, and practice in their individual certificate area by completing 4 components, 3 portfolio entries, and a computer-based assessment. Since 2000, Garrett County Public Schools has had 42 teachers who have obtained National Board Certification status. Currently, there are 37 educators that hold a National Board Certification in our school system. So tonight, please help us recognize our National Board Certified Teachers for 2026. Annalee.
Congratulations.
Okay, we have, well, no, we don't. Well, I messed up. I'll take the hit on this one. Did you really think we were going to do this and not have something to say to you? I mean, did you really, really think we were going to do all this and we would never have a word to say? We just kind of let you go off into the horizon and, well, we're not. This is our superintendent's last night presiding over the Board of Education. And certainly, as somebody who has known Dr. McCartney for 48 years, it has been a great pleasure to both work as her being my boss and working with her on the Board of Education to help guide the school system. It was great fortune that we were able to get Dr. McCartney to come out of a retirement to join us in 2023 to help guide us through the last 3 years. So I'm certainly going to let every board member say something, but we do want to recognize Dr. McCartney for a long and incredible career in Garrett County Public Schools. And we'll talk about a gift we have for you after we say a couple things. Sadie?
Dr. McCartney, I've known you for many, many years. When I was on the outside of the board, and Dr. McCartney was one of the people that always listened to me, and I always admired her about that. So when I came to be on the Board of Education and I found out that you were going to be the superintendent, it was just a good fit for me to come and do this. So I hope you enjoy your retirement this time and do lots of things that you enjoy. And you've done great here with the school system.
I will advise you that Mr. Moran could not be here tonight. He's out of town, but he is on the phone. And I'm sure that, Don, you might have a couple of words you would like to say as well.
Yes, I certainly apologize for not making Dr. McCartney's last official board meeting, but hopefully I'll be able to work my way out of the doghouse in at least a few months. And I want to reiterate what Tom said about how wonderful it was having Dr. McCartney come out of at least her second or third retirement to take the helm, and we all appreciate it, and we'll miss her, and we're quite convinced that Dr. Miller will do a great job.
She's looking in awe like.
I'm sorry, I just saw something.
Yeah, we have a slideshow going that shows Dr. McCartney from the beginning. So that's why she was looking in awe at what was happening. Mr. Gotfelty?
Mic working. I'd like to say congratulations to Dr. McCartney for the second time you're retiring. And I've known her for years too. And in my career at the health department, we always knew that she was really in charge of the Board of Ed. And even when she wasn't. As a health officer, I really enjoyed working with you. And when we needed a superintendent, when we were backs against the wall, and it was suggested that you might be interested, I knew you would do an incredible job, and you certainly have. So thank you. Thank you for this additional 3 years of service. And I hope it was as rewarding to you as it was for us.
Dr. Wilson?
Dr. McCartney, I don't think there's words really to express how meaningful you've been in my life. Your dedication to Garrett County Public Schools goes without saying. You deeply care for our staff, our students, and our community. And we hope nothing but the best for you in your years to come, whatever chapter you're writing next. I look forward to hearing about it. So thank you so much for your leadership, and thank you for saying yes.
And lastly, our incoming superintendent, Dr. Miller.
Well, I think Dr. McCartney knows how I feel. I read a very lengthy speech about her time with us in Garrett County Public Schools at the retirement dinner. And I do believe that service means a whole lot to Dr. McCartney. And she came back because she wanted to serve Garrett County, the students in Garrett County, the families in Garrett County. And she's done a great job. And we've learned a lot from you. And we hope to continue on making lots of wonderful progress as we move forward. So thank you for your service.
Brandon, you'd like to say a couple words?
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure to get to work with you for the last 3 years, Dr. McCartney. I think we've had a good time working together, and I wish you a wonderful retirement.
With that being said, Karen, do you have the gift? Oh, I have it? Okay. It mysteriously shot back here. I don't know how that happened, but I guess it did. We would like to give you a parting gift from the Board of Education, and certainly we would like for you to open it so that others can see how we feel about you.
I just wanted you to be able to hear me unwrapping. What I wanted to say as I am unwrapping is I thought we were finished with this, but
Finished when the board president says we're finished.
yes, sir. He has enjoyed being my boss.
Hey, listen, I worked under her for 30-some years. It's my turn.
It is your turn. So what do we have? Oh, it's a Christmas tree, and I don't know that I can actually get it out because it is very well taped in here. But anyone who knows me knows that Christmas is a very special season to me, and decorating something that takes some months to do. And typically, when I take those months, I do tacky Christmas. This certainly is not tacky Christmas. This is heavy Christmas. This is beautiful. And I guess maybe it is something that will be out every single day. To remember all of you in this time. Again, I was not expecting this evening. I have no prepared remarks. So I'm just going to say, because we have an agenda and we have some students here who have some things to share. Thank you very much for asking me to share in this endeavor as the school system. It has been an honor. A lot of days it was a pleasure. Not every day, but it's been an honor, and I will go home feeling that I am leaving it better than it was. We have a wonderful foundation. We already had a good foundation. I believe it's firmer at this time. And I also believe the board was very wise in appointing Dr. Miller
to lead this. So, thank you very much.
And we would like to get a quick picture. The board members, Cadence, join us, please.
I do. It's like having, it's like having one of Mr. Woods's trophies.
Wish I had a trophy like that. My wife has a number of them. Okay, we will move on to the agenda, policies and procedures. GBEBA Code of Conduct Policy and Procedure is an action item. Ms. Miller will come up to make that presentation. Along with Mr. Edwards.
So this procedure was added because it had been previously admitted, and so there were some changes made since the last read. If you look under Section 2, or Section D, Administrative Procedures, under number 2, Communications, there were 2 sentences that will be removed from the procedure.
Okay, Superintendent, you have a recommendation?
The policy GBEBA is the Code of Conduct policy with procedure, of course, attached to it. I recommend to approve the revised GBEBA Code of Conduct policy.
Okay, the superintendent is recommending that the board approve GBEBA Code of Conduct Policy and Procedure. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Jane. Second. Second by Rodney. Now I have discussion. Questions and discussion. Any questions about the policy? The policy becomes one in which it's the conduct of staff. Okay? The question that, and I have several questions, obviously. Not about the policy or the procedure, but the implementation and the assurance of how we're going to implement those things. There will be approved platforms of which staff, all staff, may use. Explain how that works.
So currently in our classrooms at the elementary levels in particular, there are some platforms that teachers use, such as Class Dojo, Blooms, and those are the communication tools that are encouraged to use for communicating with parents at the elementary level. At the secondary level, it goes more into sports arenas, so after extracurricular activities. So we looked at some different platforms that they would be able to communicate with our students, as well as there are some CTE classes such as the allied health, that when students are out on site, they would be able to use those platforms to communicate with students as well as parents. So that follows our social media policy, which is also part of the Code of Conduct policy.
What platforms are you talking about that they're going to use at the high school level?
do you want to speak to?
So, excuse me, when Mrs. Miller met with me and Mr. Yank to talk about this, as this must have came up in policy and procedure, I surveyed all of our coaches through the athletic directors. There seemed to be probably 6 platforms that are most used. For example, there's something called Team Snap. There's one called Team Reach. There's one called Band. They're all basically the same, and they all have basically the same features that I think fit into what we're trying to accomplish. So parents can be included into the group. Administrators can be included into the group. It's a way that they can communicate without communicating via their personal social media or personal cell phone. It's an app on the phone. My kids in their youth league use something called Stack. It's the same thing. You'll get an alert as a parent or a student or an administrator. You'll get an alert and it'll say practice is at 6 o'clock or practice is canceled or the game's been moved or whatever the case may be that they would have to communicate.
If the staff member is the administrator of setting up the chat, the GroupMe, okay? My grandchildren use GroupMe, but where they go. Must the administrator then put in parents into the GroupMe and the administrator into the GroupMe, or do they automatically go in? You know what my precaution is?
Sure.
My precaution is we're creating a policy, which we need. But are we ensuring that if we have this policy, we're communicating to students through the approved method, but the parent and or the administrator knows that we're making that communication, especially outside of school hours. I'm talking about
Sure. And interestingly enough, this came up in a meeting I was in a couple of months ago. The state starting to look at this too, not the MPSSAA, but each individual LEA is looking at this for the exact same reasons. There doesn't seem to be a universal standard. And when we talked, currently right now, we don't really have anything. I mean, they're doing all kinds of stuff, so we're trying to rein it in. Our thought in talking this through was most organizations, not all, are using one of these that we just mentioned. Our thought was we communicate with the coaches, the advisors, and all the appropriate personnel. This is what we're doing and why we're doing it. The expectation is parents will be included, administrators will be included, and all students involved will be included. And then if you as a coach of the whatever team or advisor of the junior class want to use a different platform because you've used it before and you like it, you would just ask Mr. Gank, myself, and Mrs. Miller, and we would say, yeah, it checks the boxes. You can add parents, you can add the administrator. It meets what we need. It's used across the board. Most of those, when you search them, it'll say endorsed by NFHS or, whatever the case may be. It would have to meet that criteria, and then we would have to monitor it just like we monitor everything else. I mean, it really is going to be a self-report, but I think this is a good move in the right direction. There does not seem to be, in my conversation with the rest of the state, there doesn't seem to be a program that comes right out of Power School or Schoology or something like that that performs the app, the way the app works, because most kids are carrying a phone. They're not carrying a computer around, especially after school. So it almost needs an app feel to it. And anything that even comes close is extremely expensive. So I think this is the right way to move to get us to where we want to be. I've talked with the administrators about this. They're on board. They understand totally. They get it just like everybody else. So does the athletic directors. It will be more comprehensive. I mean, this will be band and theater and CTE. This will be everything.
It's it's every staff. That's my next question. And how are you going to implement that? Everybody knows all 500. Everybody who works for us whether extracurricular or custodian, they're an assistant, they're a teacher, they're an administrator, whatever they are, they still work for us. How are you going to get the word out to everybody? This is what you now have to do.
So if the policy passes, I plan to share that with administrators. We have a PD scheduled for principal administrators over the summer, and we're going to talk about items that should be placed in a staff handbook. So we'll be talking over that and how they would be disseminating that out to staff, as well as best class. I would be covering that with any new hires that were coming. Mr. Edwards would be making sure that the athletic directors and he were covering the coaching staff, that arena. And then we would make sure that at the beginning of the school year, one of the first 5 days back, that principals are sharing that out with all of the staff, with all the new changes and policies and procedures.
Dr. McCartney and I talked about this at length. You know, the greatest difficulty is going to be breaking old habits. It's easier for me to pick up the phone and text you that basketball practice canceled tonight, because that's what I've always done. And that's going to be the hard part. And you're right, it's self-reporting, but it's also breaking old habits that are going to be very difficult to break because it's just easier. You know.
And we recognize that. And we also would add that this is a layer of protection for staff members, that there's a thread that the administrator can view. So if there's any accusations, it's a protection. It's a layer of protection for our staff. So we want them to understand that. We also recognize that there are emergencies, there are field trips, there are different events that might take place where that interaction has to happen with the cell phone immediately.
Sure.
So we're not taking that away. We're just trying to add the layer of protection for our staff.
One thing that I'll say that might put your mind at ease a little bit, because it surprised me, especially being a little older. I was surprised at how many teams were already utilizing these. There was only 2 replies, and we surveyed everyone. There were only 2 replies that said we're just using cell phones. And we told them up front, no one's in trouble. This is new. We're trying to find some middle ground to put something in place. But there were only 2 groups that said we just text everybody, which really surprised me because I expected more than that. So I don't think this will be, to your point, I don't know that this will be a huge change, because it seems that everybody's sort of already in that world to some extent. And then it'll be our responsibility to communicate that. We'll have our coaches summit again this year. I'll go over it with all the coaches. The ADs will reinforce that. It'll be put in the handbook once we get to that point and it's approved. And then I meet with all the CTE teachers in the first 5 days back. That'll be part of that agenda as well. I think we'll communicate it well. It's going to be the follow-up and are you really doing this? And part of that's going to reside in the hands of principals too.
Sure. Well, and our employees who we trust to do what we ask them to do.
Exactly.
Lastly for me, and I don't know if others have questions, but lastly for me, how are you going to, okay, if you meet with everybody, so when they sign for their school's handbook, that I assume they sign that they've received all the information, so they know that.
So currently, we do not have our employees sign the policies and procedures or the handbook. There are principals who do ask for them to initial that they've signed, so it's something that we can implement. Actually, whenever I met with the UNICEF rep and the union, they like the idea of having an employee sign off every year. We kind of shied away with having them sign off on it every year, but we can put into place whatever the board would like for us to do.
Well, I guess if I was still a principal, wouldn't be. I give you the book. Here's give me your initials. You got the book. I didn't read it.
We do, at the coaches summit, we do have all the coaches sign in, indicating they were there and got all the information.
And I did have another last thing before I forget. Did you say that it will be an expectation that if I get a group me of, okay, my wrestling team's all in my group me, I'll use group me because that's what my grandkids use, that I must put the parent and the administrator in so that everybody knows that we're talking as a group?
So must put the administrator in. That's what's in the legislative law since 2018. They can be put in as a moderator. They don't have to be as the admin, and they can still monitor and view everything that was being posted. parents should be either invited to be into the group or signing off permission because it's minor.
Yeah, that was my question,
Yes.
because we're dealing with talking about younger kids, aren't
So
18
one or
yet.
the other needs to happen.
Yeah, yeah. So, hey, I'm all for it. I just sleep better when I know we're gonna make it work because it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be different. Just that part's gonna be different. If you're a football coach, you got 60 kids. That's 60 parents you got to get to either join or sign off they're not gonna join, and make sure that I got all those things in case something bad happens. I got to prove I did my part. Am I the only guy that's
No,
concerned?
I think you're making lots of great points.
Well, you knew this better than anyone because you coached for years. And how do you contact your players was really a concern for you. And I can see your point. I think this is giving us a layer of protection that we didn't have before. And I think it would be advantageous for us to approve this policy.
Oh, me too. I'm 100% in favor of it. I feel a lot better now we had this discussion. Let's put it that way. Any other questions or concerns? Okay, there's a motion on the floor to adopt GBEBA Code of Conduct Policy. All those in favor of adopting, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Aye.
And we got an aye from Don as well. It is approved. Thank you both so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jeff, thank you too for your input as well. Appreciate you being here and answering those questions. Okay, under continuing business, the student handbook. It's also an action item tonight. And it is the 26-27 student handbook, and Mr. Lewis will make that presentation.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to be here to go over the second reading with the student handbook. After the first reading and Mr. Globfeldy's great suggestion that we look and put in place about what happens if a parent or a guardian is not in place when a student is dropped off. We did revisit it. Those are the only two changes that we have. And you will find those changes on page 23. Where we put in new language, and just to read that quickly, if that's okay.
Sure.
Parents are responsible for the safety of their children from the time the children leave home in the morning until they board the school bus at the end of the day when the children exit the bus. In Maryland, children under the age of 8 years old cannot be left unattended. Therefore, parents or guardians of children under the age of 8 years old are required to be at the bus stop on a daily basis for pickup and discharge. If they cannot, they must arrange for someone else, like a family member, babysitter, neighbor, or to be there, especially in the afternoon. And that's the one change that we made on page 23, and then again on page 63, where we included the similar language, where in Maryland, children under the age of 8 years old cannot be left unattended. Therefore, parents or guardians of children under the age of 8 are required to be at the bus stop on a daily basis for pickup and discharge. And then the other slight change there, if no responsible party is at the bus stop, the student may be returned to their school.
Superintendent McCarty, you have a recommendation?
I do. My recommendation is to approve the student handbook for school year 26-27 as presented. Thank you.
Superintendent's asking the board to approve the student handbook for school year 26-27 as been presented to us. Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Rodney,
Second.
seconded by Jane. Discussion? Questions?
I do have a question. If no responsible party is at the bus stop, the student may be returned to their school. And then it says continued blatant neglect to do so will result in revocation of the school bus privilege. Will DSS also be notified if this is a recurring event?
Correct. In fact, under the family law from DSS, they will be notified.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions, concerns?
You go ahead.
You know, of course, you know, once they're returned to the school, when no one's there to pick them up, then it's incumbent upon the school to try to get somebody to come get them, right?
Right, correct.
And it's sort of silent on that point, but,
It is, yeah. And once, for example, I know Mr. Bray and Mr. Witt and all of our drivers do an exceptional job that when someone is not there, they try to contact a parent or the next name on the emergency list, even before they pull out to return back to school.
yeah, but I think what's important is that parents that are reading this handbook know that their child is going to be returned to the school
Right.
and not just dropped off somewhere else.
No, no, sir. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. And we will have supervision at the school.
Go ahead.
Dr. Miller?
Yeah, I was trying to check the one on board docs real quickly, but Mr. Hoover had mentioned that the one on board docs currently still has the family law citation in there, and I just wanted to make sure that the board recognizes that we're pulling that family citation law out. And so the final version of the handbook will be what Mr. Lewis just read, and we will update board docs to make sure that it does not have the family law citation in.
Great. Okay. Other questions, comments? Big undertaking. The handbook is a big undertaking. We understand that.
It was a surprise.
It's a big undertaking. So we have a recommendation from the superintendent. The board approves student handbook school year 26-27. Motion on the floor to do so. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And it is unanimous. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, Dr. McCartney.
Educational Facilities Master Plan, 26-27, action item as well. Mr. Witt will make that presentation.
Good evening. There are no changes to the Educational Facilities Master Plan since I presented it last month. Just as a reminder, any changes made in the last year are all in red, so it's easy to see what we had changed, so.
Superintendent, have a recommendation?
My recommendation is to approve the Educational Facilities Master Plan for school year 26-27 as presented.
Superintendent is asking the board to approve the Educational Facilities Master Plan 26-27. Is there a motion as such?
I'll make a motion to accept the master plan.
Motion by Sadie,
Second.
seconded by Jane. Discussion, questions, concerns?
Just to say, great job.
Hearing none, there's a motion on the floor to accept the Educational Facilities Master Plan 26-27. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, and it is unanimous. Thank you. Thank your staff as well, Bobby, for all the work that you guys put into that. FY 27 operating budget. This is an action item, be presented by Dr. Miller and Ms. Ashley Gallatfelty, Director of Finance, for the budget for this next coming year.
Good evening. So this is, as Mr. Wood said, an action item tonight. We did have final revenue come in from the state, and so Ms. Glotfelty will share the changes to that final revenue first, and then we can move on from there.
Yes, so we did receive our finalized state aid file on May the 19th. So there were some revisions. I've highlighted those on the page. And the first one is on page 19 of the former budget book. You'll have a revised page, summary of blueprint program revenues and expenditures. The biggest change on this page would be in the pre-K program. The state share decreased $28,355, and the local share decreased 65,414. On page 25, the only number that really changed on this was the state of Maryland funding and the Garrett County government funding. Those went down slightly, and the other board funding increased for that, the small offset of that 73,869 for fund balance, because we decided that for that small change that we were just going to increase the fund balance to offset. The next page would be page 26, the unrestricted estimated revenue. There again, that's just an outline of all of the state and local revenue. Again, the biggest change was in pre-K. There were some other small changes, but the total state share effect was $22,755. The total local share effect was $51,240. Those were both decreases. And then on page 27, the restricted estimated revenue changed under the COP funding. The state share went down by $18 and the local share increased by $18. So it was a net zero effect. So as I said, we did lose $73,869 combined with state and federal funding, and we did increase our fund balance for that amount. There was also an update on page A4, employer salary cost. This was just an update to the mostly the fixed charges for fiscal 27. And those were the only changes from the original budget that was presented.
Okay, Superintendent McCarty, you have a recommendation?
Before I make a recommendation, excuse me, first of all, thank both of you for your work on this budget and the rest of the staff that are here tonight. The other thing that I want to state is a thank you to our county commissioners. We went to our county commissioners because we lost through the state a $1.5 million in revenue for next year through the disparity grant, and our commissioners listened to our request and met our request to sort of replace 1.5 million of the 1.8 that we had lost in our operating budget. In addition to that, we understand and have heard from the commissioners that 1.5 million is not a one-year award that the school system needed, but it will continue to be awarded to the school system. So I want to publicly thank the commissioners for making that available to the school system and to our students. With that said, I would recommend to the board to approve the operating budget for school year 26-27 as presented tonight.
Okay, the superintendent's asking the board to approve the final budget, or proposed budget, which will become the final operating budget for FY 27. Is there a motion as such?
I move that
So moved by
board
Rodney.
adopt the budget.
Second by Jane.
Second.
Second by
Dawn.
Don. We'll give you the second. Questions? Anyone about the budget?
I don't have any questions, but I do want to thank this.
Ricky. Just have to hold it in a minute.
I don't have any questions, but I do want to thank the staff for putting together this budget. I know that it's really hard to think how we can meet a certain amount, and I really do appreciate everybody's hard work. I know there's a lot more involved, and I also thank you for the ongoing work that will come with this as well. So thank you.
questions, concerns? Certainly, the board realizes this goes from the superintendent's lap to our lap, becomes our operating budget, once we approve it. So if you have any concerns, now's the time to say them. Hearing none, there is a motion on the floor to adopt the superintendent's proposed operating budget for FY '27. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And it is unanimous. And again, I'll echo what Jane just said. Thank you so very much, all of you. I'm sure it's everyone in this building who had a part, but you have the ultimate responsibility, Ashley. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Under new business, food and nutrition service bids for FY '26-27. This is also an action item tonight by Mr. Jermaine.
Good evening.
Evening.
I am here this evening to request approval for our grocery, chemical, and milk bids for the 26-27 school year.
Okay, Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Recommendation is to approve the recommended vendors for the food and nutrition services bids for fiscal year 26-27 as presented in your board packet.
Okay, the superintendent is asking the board to approve the food and nutrition service bids for FY '26-27, which have been presented to us in our packet. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept that.
Motion by Sadie to accept. Seconded by Jane. Discussion, questions, concerns? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting the food and nutrition service bids for FY '26-27 indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And thank you, Scott, for all of
Thank
your
you.
work, and all of your staff's work.
Thank you. I would like to share, excuse me, today was our first day of our summer food service program. So we got started this year and today was it. And so we served 171 bags this afternoon. So that's a little over 2,300 meals we served today at lunchtime for already. So we're out again this evening. We'll be out again tomorrow afternoon and then tomorrow evening. And then new this year, we received a grant from No Kid Hungry. We're going to start a home delivery program. So those folks who can't get to us, we're going to get to them. So we know we have a lot of families that just don't have transportation to get to us. So
Wow,
we're going to go to them.
wow, that's incredible. It's- Yeah, your whole staff.
Thank you.
You know, a couple of times I've been to a couple of schools while they were doing things over the summer.
Yeah.
And it literally is incredible to watch.
It's production.
It
Yeah.
is. I mean, it's,
Yeah, and we're using the Broadford kitchen this year.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We started here, went to Yacht Glades, and now we're at Broadford, and it's like, okay, this is exactly what we needed and what we wanted, and so it's been amazing already. So, thank you.
Thank you for this. And with the cost of everything, not to mention the transportation problems we have within the community, it's great for the kids to have that.
Yeah, it's fun to be out there to see the students and the families. They're all very happy usually.
I just asked the board president if I could say something very quickly. When I heard that we were going to be able to do home deliveries, I'm like over the moon. And if you have an opportunity to see the program in action, it's a wonderful thing to behold. And I just want to thank you, Scott, Mr. Germain, because we have moved to, over the last couple years, being able to provide meals to every student every day. And to expand our summer program in a time of need. Just thank you for pursuing those different paths for our students and families. Thank you. The applause was very well deserved.
Okay, also under new business, school year 26-27 special education staffing plan. This is also an action item tonight by Dr. Mangus.
You guys, I thought you guys got it. It is tricky. Okay, so I am coming to you tonight with the special education staffing plan. This is, as you can see at the top of the staffing plan that you have in front of you, this is based off of a May 11th student count. As you're aware, numbers in special education fluctuate very quickly at times, so that is the point in time in which this data was pulled from. This is a breakdown of our students with disabilities by school, and it is based on a student to staffing ratio. However, behind these numbers are students that have their own story. And so although we use a ratio to kind of guide our decisions within special education staffing, we certainly look at the individual students and the services that they require as we align staffing supports. You will see two major changes from last school year. The one is our shift from our Yaklades ALO regional program to Broadford Elementary School. So those numbers are reflected in the staffing plan. And the addition of 2 SLP facilitators, just based on the need to implement teletherapy and have more consistency within that plan.
Superintendent McCartney, you have a recommendation?
My recommendation is to approve the special education staffing plan for 2026-27 school year as presented by Dr. Mangus.
Okay, the superintendent's asking the board to approve school year 26-27 special education staffing plan. Motion?
I'll move to accept the plan.
So moved by Rodney, seconded by Don. Questions, concerns about the plan? Everybody has the chart in front of us, I think. We all have a chance to look at it.
One question.
Go ahead.
The speech and language pathologists, are they contractual or they're full-time employees now?
The ones reflected on here, the 3, those are full-time employees with Garrett County Public Schools. We have one within our infants and toddlers program who supports our birth to 3-year-old students in the home or natural environment, and then the other 2 are school-based, and we really prioritize our students based on their needs to receive those in-person services.
I mean, I realize it's hard to recruit those type of specialists.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thanks. I'll take 3. They're wonderful. They do a great job.
Anything else about the plan? Okay, we have a motion on the floor to adopt school year 26-27 special education staffing plan as presented this evening. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And it is adopted. Special Education Citizen Advisory Committee presentation. Can I ask you how long the presentation might take? Because we're getting to the 7 o'clock hour for
We
public
can
comment.
hold for.
Yeah, do you mind?
No, not at all.
Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and do then our presentations by the public. Pull that up. Thank you, Mark. Okay, the Garrett County Board of Education is pleased to receive comments and ideas from our public pertaining to the policies, procedures, and/or practices of the school system. We ask that comments be limited to a maximum time of 3 minutes per individual, unless otherwise considered by the board president. There'll be no discussion or action taken at this meeting, but may be considered at a future meeting. Issues that are specific to individual employees should be referred to the immediate supervisor for appropriate consideration and review. Rude, slanderous, threatening remarks, or other behavior that is disruptive or interferes with the order of the meeting will not be permitted. Topics excluded from the public comment include individual personnel issues, comments identifying individual students or staff members, matters that are on appeal or may be appealed or have been appealed, topics for which the board schedules formal public hearings, advertising, solicitation, and/or services. And certainly remind, I think we only have one person who's going to speak. Once again, please be reminded that use of names is strictly prohibited, or use of adjectives that would let people know whom we are talking about is prohibited, not only to protect you, but to protect the person whom you may be discussing. This is it Henry Faulkner? Is that correct, Henry? Okay. Yes, you'll come up here. They can. Yeah, yes. This is Emma Bernshen. Okay. Thank you. Now, do both of you want 3 minutes? Okay. Sorry, Henry, your time's up.
Oh. All right.
Now you're good.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. My name is Henry Faulkner. I'm a rising senior at Northern Garrett High School, and I'm here to represent the concerns of students at Northern. We come before you today with a matter of incredible importance to not only yourselves, but the livelihood of our teachers, the education of the students this board represents, and the future academic opportunities of this county. This Board of Ed has acted not only against its own policy, but the policy of the state of Maryland and a severe lack of oversight and genuine care for how it is supposed to operate. On May 28, 2026, one of our teachers was informed that they were to be involuntarily transferred from Northern Garrett High School to Southern High/Middle, for reasons of which we've all found to be unjust. We ask that the board reverse their decision and adjust their policies to best serve the students and faculty across this county. Before you is one of our online petitions, which contains 460 signatures from students and family members and community surrounding Northern. Northern Garrett High School, this was collected from May 28th to June the 9th, and there's also a hand-signed copy that will be emailed to the members of the board, containing an additional 212 signatures from only students at Northern Garrett. The total number of signatures adds up to 672. I'm now going to read a summarized version of this petition, which does not include the name of the science teacher, as board policy prevents me from doing so. This petition from Northern Garrett High School community strongly opposes the Garrett County Board of Ed's decision to transfer one of our teachers from Northern Garrett to Southern High/Middle, as we know that they are an irreplaceable pillar of the school who teaches an extraordinary range of advanced subjects, including AP and Merit Physics. Okay. The board has done this transfer for the sole purpose of cost cutting. The teacher was the first in the chopping block simply because they're the youngest of this faculty with the lowest tenure. This decision will overburden our other teachers and force them into unfamiliar teaching areas for which they're not proficient in. This teacher we're referring to lives 40 minutes north of Northern and this transfer is going to force them to drive nearly an hour and a half to Southern each way every single day, which is completely ridiculous. The community condemns the board for prioritizing the budget over educational quality and student well-being, as this decision sends a damaging message to all of our local educators, and we demand that the board immediately reverse the transfer, reform placement policies to prioritize merit over seniority, and publicly commit to protecting academic integrity from budget cuts. We declare that we will actively continue this fight until our reforms are met. Moving on. Garrett County Board policy states that teacher reassignment and transfer decisions are to be made based on what best meets the educational needs of students and the school system, with major factors including certification requirements, teacher competency, most recent evaluations, grades and subjects taught, and the availability of certified personnel. First off, we know this teacher has directly addressed the needs of the county by going above and beyond by acquiring numerous certifications in multiple unique classes, which I'll say. There is also no reason to believe that this decision was based off of student grades and testing results. The same policy states that the board intends to work towards minimal disruption to student programs.
Give you another minute, one more minute.
Programs unless there's reason to believe that the transfer is in the best interest of all students involved. And yet, we recorded the interests of the students and the proof sits in front of you. Of course, this proposed transfer does not appear to satisfy those standards. As previously stated, the science teacher has the ability to instruct a vast array of courses, and removing them from Northern High would plainly disrupt course continuity, weaken academic programming, increase strain on other teachers, and harm students who depend on their expertise for career readiness in certain fields. This is not a minimal disruption, it's a major disruption, and it directly conflicts with the board's own policy language. Now, I'm going to say there's a lot more information on the papers in front of you with the full transcript of this. I assume that we're going to have more time today because of some other factors that people told me. I'm going to pass it off to Emma now, and she's going to read a little bit off of this. And there will be more information emailed to you all. Great.
Hello everyone, my name is Emma Burnson and I am also a rising senior and here to further discuss this transfer. What makes this issue even more serious is what it is doing to the community's confidence in this board. More and more students, parents, faculty, and residents are losing faith that the Garrett County Board of Education is truly acting in the best interests of students. There is a growing belief in this community that when difficult choices have to be made, this board is too willing to prioritize budgets, cost-cutting, and administrative convenience over students while disregarding school stability and public will. And the lack of answers and care given in our emails to the members of this board only reinforces that belief. That loss of faith is not abstract. It grows every time this community speaks clearly and still feels ignored. When students, parents, teachers, and community members organize, sign petitions, speak publicly, and make their concerns unmistakably clear, only to watch the board appear ready to move forward regardless, it sends a destructive message. It tells the public that their voices are being heard only superficially. It tells students that their educational experience can be disrupted for financial reasons. It tells educators that excellence, commitment, and impact matter less than staffing formulas and budget convenience. And it tells families that the board will do whatever it wants, even when the community overwhelmingly believes it is wrong. This is why so many people have signed the petition demanding that our teacher remain at Northern High School. Students, parents, faculty, and community members did not sign our petition because of rumor or sentiment alone. They signed because they understand firsthand what this teacher contributes to the school, what students stand to lose, and how unreasonable this decision appears when measured against the board's own standards. In closing, what stands before you today is not simply a petition or a procedural objection. It is a community that has organized, documented, and presented its case clearly, professionally, and in good faith. We have shown you that this transfer violates board policy, conflicts with the negotiated teacher agreement, and places Garrett County Public Schools in direct conflict with Maryland state law and the blueprint for Maryland's future. We are not asking for special treatment. We are asking you to follow your own rules. 672 people signed their names because they believe this decision is wrong. Teachers are waiting to see whether excellence is rewarded or punished in this county. Students are watching to see whether their voices carry any real weight in this room. And the broader community is watching to see whether this board governs by its stated values or by convenience. You have the opportunity today to send a different message. Reverse this transfer, commit to merit-based placement policies, and demonstrate to every student, educator, and family in Garrett County that this board takes its obligations seriously. We will continue to fight for our leaders, for our school, and for the standard of education that every student in this county deserves. The question is whether this board will stand with us or stand against its own policy, its own agreement, and the students it was created to serve. Thank you.
Thank you both for speaking. You're both extremely good speakers. Congratulations on doing that. As you well know, the board does not take up any action based on public input. Okay, let's then go back, Dr. Mangus, to finish her presentation.
Okay. So the next presentation I have for you is a Special Education Citizens Advisory Committee update. This is a presentation that we're required to give annual at the board meeting, just to share with you guys some feedback that we've received from our Special Education Citizens Advisory Committee as we make informed decisions regarding special education. So if you go to slide 1, really the purpose of CCAC is a state-created initiative, as I shared just a little bit ago, just advocating for students with disabilities. It is community awareness, so this is a committee that is open to community members, organizations, agencies, families, students, teachers, anyone that wants to be a part of being involved with the education of students with disabilities. And we certainly respect all that community feedback as we go throughout our meetings. So that is really the purpose of CCAC. On slide 2, you will see some of the topics that we discussed throughout the year. These focused on, of course, everything that we feel like impacted special education in maybe a larger way this year, really starting with our CCAC officers, looking at the Blueprint for Maryland's Future, specifically Pillar 4, and how we're supporting our students with disabilities and enhancing that instruction. We also did a lot of special education data review, looking at federal indicator data, state assessments, but also county-based assessments, parent involvement surveys, and general feedback forms. We also looked at the Maryland Parent Information Series, which is a 4-part booklet for families to inform them of their rights as parents and the process in special education so that they're aware of timelines and those types of things that are in place to support them. We also reviewed the Maryland Parent Involvement Survey, which we have families complete every year. Currently, Garrett County is at the top in the state as far as participation in that survey this year, and typically we usually get pretty high results on involvement with our families. We also talked about parent trainings and information that they would like to receive moving forward. We talked a lot about Special Olympics, agencies and organizations. There were 2 really big state initiatives this year, which was Eric's Law, which allowed the butterfly emblem to be put on driver's license to notify law enforcement of any hidden disabilities, as they refer to it as, and the blue card that also individuals with more significant cognitive disabilities can share to law enforcement in a situation to express their needs as well. So really giving our families all those resources and information that we can so that they're better equipped to advocate for their children in the community, but also in the school setting. We looked at a lot of instructional initiatives that we worked through this school year, and then also talked about family support events with that as well. We do 4 CCAC meetings a year. Those are quarterly. They are posted on our website. We always pair them with a family-friendly event. We want students there. We want the siblings there. We want families to feel welcomed. So we try to do those in a fun area and, of course, accommodate any disability needs that we need to. So the first one there was at CCAC, was at the Corn Maze. We did one at the ice skating rink in Grantsville, the Clark, and then Hickory Environmental Center. Mr. Shank hosts us every spring for that, and it's just really a good time for us to review a lot of these topics, but also connect with families and allow them to connect with each other. So some of the impact with the events on slide 3 is really looking at some of the events that we did throughout the year based on parent feedback. We partnered with the Maryland State Police Barracks and the DNR, and we hosted a land and water experience where students were able to get to know those fields better for career exploration, but also from a safety standpoint. We do a back to school bash every year specific for our families of students with disabilities, and usually have a great turnout there. Sensory friendly movies, that is something that our families love and that we prioritize within our budget, as well as specific meetings for groups of families, such as our ALO program moving from Yacklades to Broadford, having meetings with them in a smaller group setting to really talk through some of those logistics. We also did a communication training based on some of the speech and language concerns that we've worked through this year, just with teletherapy, and really making sure the parents are informed on what that looks like and those developmental milestones. And then we also hosted a Parents Have Special Needs 2 luncheon, which was really a time where we could give our families information about resources and continue to make them aware of their rights within the school system as well. Also a great time to network. And then the last slide there you will see is just some of our partnerships as a result of some of our CCAC meetings. We are very proud of our partnership with Special Olympics. I had one of the state reps tell me the other day that Garrett County is her favorite place to come for unified sports. And so we're really proud of that. Our families are very appreciative of those opportunities through unified sports. We also do the torch run every year at both secondary schools, the super dunk, the regular dunk. Our secondary schools are banner recognized. So just really continuing to foster that relationship with Special Olympics is a priority of our families and also ours. We also did a lot of partnerships with Garrett College this year. Last summer, we hosted our first workforce training camp in which our students were able to go to the CTTC building. It was a 4-day camp. They were able to experience the different careers there. They were able to take them out and do some real life job application. And so that was a really great event. We're doing that again this summer for our secondary students as well, and really kind of building that post-secondary outcomes for our students. And then lastly, really looking at local organizations. We host a secondary transition fair for our families and also do a lot of post-secondary support for them throughout other local agencies such as DOORS and connecting them with summer employment and employment throughout the school year. So I guess I will end by saying that I do not do this alone. I have a very amazing and supportive team that helps make all these happen. Tracy Brenneman is our family support coordinator, and she is an integral part of pulling all this together and making sure it runs smoothly. And she's not here tonight, but I did want to recognize all the work she puts into this as well.
Dr. Mangus, thank you so much for your passion towards our students with special needs and their families. This is incredible. It's incredible what you do and what your staff does. So please, please know that we appreciate it very much. And I know you're making a difference in each of our students' lives. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a great team in Garrett County to support our families.
Just a couple quick questions. Are there any roadblocks you're facing getting, I mean, is there a segment of the special population you feel that perhaps you're not reaching? Or you could do you're at a roadblock of how to reach them perhaps?
So we send emails out to all of our families, and sometimes we get people that'll come to an event and I'll say, "Oh, I haven't seen you at an event before. It's really great to see you." And I said, "Do you get emails from Tracy Brenneman or myself?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, but I never really put that together what it was," and it kind of gets lost in the email. So we really have kind of tried to broaden that a little bit through school newsletters, social media, and just some different avenues, because as we all know, emails we can get a lot of them. And so keeping up with them all can be difficult. So really trying to expand that communication and notification of our families has really been one of our priorities as well.
I would think that would be one of the harder things to do, is to feel that we really reached out to everyone.
Yeah, we, like I said, a lot of communication with the families. Special ed teachers are usually the go-to for our families, and so they communicate a lot of that home, which is really beneficial.
Anything else for Meg's presentation? Okay, she's going to stay with us. And this is a speech and language pathology service RFP, which is an action item.
Okay. Okay, so I am coming with a speech and language pathology RFP recommendation. We had posted on May 14th a notice for a request for proposals that was published in the Garrett County Public Schools website, the social media platforms, and also in the Republican newspaper. We received 5 proposals, and it is the recommendation of our committee to move forward with a 1-year contract for Best Life Therapy in Bridgeport, West Virginia. We did contract with them this previous year, and they know that our priority is in-person services, and they are striving to meet that need. This year, they were able to provide 2 in-person SLPs for us, and we were able to meet the need for our students that truly require in-person services and provide teletherapy to those that also can benefit from that model. And so once again, within their proposal, they are also trying to prioritize the in-person services with also an implementation plan for teletherapy as needed.
Okay, Dr. McCartney, do you have a recommendation?
My recommendation is to approve the recommended vendor, Best Life Therapy, to provide speech and language pathology services for the 26-27 school year.
Okay, the superintendent is asking the board to approve Best Life for our speech and language pathology services for the upcoming school year. Is there a motion? So moved by Jane.
Second.
Second by Sadie. Concerns, questions, comments? Okay, hearing none. There is a motion on the floor to adopt the use of Best Life for speech and language pathology services for the upcoming school year. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. And it is unanimous. Thank you. And for her last student member report, Cadence, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. So we're going to do something a little different this time. Instead of giving a report, well, I will give a report in addition to some final remarks. But I would like to say happy summer break to all of our students. We are now out on break doing the amazing things. I know that Mr. Germain just left the room, but I really just want to give a huge thank you to him as well, because he is doing amazing things to help make sure that our students are staying fed throughout the summer. But moving on, I'm going to give a few remarks if you all do not mind. So as I give my final student member of the board address, I found myself reflecting on what makes Garrett County Public Schools so special. And many school systems can point to strong academics, successful programs, or impressive accomplishments. We certainly do have all of those things, and that was certainly evident tonight. But what has always stood out to me is that Garrett County treats students like students, not numbers, not test scores, not data points, but people. It means something when an administrator can walk into a school and know at least 10 students by name. It means something when teachers, staff, and community members genuinely invest in the success of every child. Those relationships are what makes our school system different, and they are what makes our students feel valued, Throughout my time serving on this board, I've had the opportunity to represent students from every corner of our county. What I've seen is that Garrett County does not just produce successful students, it produces good people. Our graduates leave with strong values, a commitment to service, and a desire to make a positive impact wherever life takes them. We have put ourselves on the map through big dreams, dedicated educators, and students who continue to excel in the classrooms, on stages, on athletic fields, and throughout our communities. Yet one of the things that makes me most proud is that so many students want to stay in Garrett County or return after pursuing higher education. That speaks volumes about the community that helped raise them and the schools that have helped shape them. As my term comes to an end, I would like to thank the Garrett County Board of Education and the staff at Central Office for their hard work and dedication. Your efforts do not go unnoticed. Thank you for welcoming the student voice to the table and allowing me the privilege of serving alongside you for the past 2 years. It has been an incredible honor to represent the students of Garrett County, and I am grateful for the trust that was placed in me, for the lessons I have learned, and for the people I have met along the way. And while my time on the board is ending, my pride in Garrett County Public Schools never will. So thank you all, and Ellie Jackson cannot be here tonight, but I will wish her the best of luck. So thank you.
Well, it's been our privilege to have for the last 2 years, which is kind of unheard of too, actually, that you can do it, win our votes for 2 years. But you've been an amazing student member. In my 10 years on the board, I can not remember anyone who has put as much time and effort and passion into being a student member as you have. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Member updates. Anybody? Got anything?
It's been another busy month. So I had the privilege of attending the school visit at Broadford with Dr. McCartney, a beautiful school. If you haven't had the opportunity to see that school, you must. We've attended with many of my colleagues here, the ribbon cutting ceremony at Broadford as well. I also had the privilege of attending the biomedical science white coat ceremony and the high school graduations and the retirement dinner. So it's been a busy month.
I think most all of us were at all those things.
I have one more to add. I went to see the Beetlejuice production at the Performing Arts Center. It was the junior theater program. It just amazes me the talent that we have in this community, not only with the arts, but with, you know, JROTC at graduation, our basketball teams, our football teams. It just amazes me with the students and how things have changed over the years and the way that the students seem to keep excelling each year. I'm just amazed.
Especially the graduations. I was just enthralled with the graduations, how precise everything worked, how students were dressed. It was just fantastic. And I was even really more in awe of the number of people there, considering the number of graduates, because it was the least number ever in the history of our school system that we graduated, but yet the place was running over with people. So that's a good thing. Yeah, both of them. It's a good thing. Yeah.
And even with the students that came this evening to speak, the way that they're dressed, how respectful they were. They might not agree with the decisions that have been made, but they were so respectful in delivering their speeches on what you didn't feel was right. So thank you for that.
Okay, and in her last update will be the superintendent of schools.
Well, for one thing, I am thankful that I won't have to follow Cadence anymore because she is very well spoken and very thoughtful about those words and how she supports our students. So I thank you for that, as I'm sure that our students do. So I'm just going to give a few reminder dates, basically. Report cards for this final fourth grading period will be released on June the 12th. Our offices, administrative offices, and our year-round schools will operate on a condensed summer schedule beginning June 15th and continuing through August 21st. Hours of operation will be 7 a.m. to 4:30, Monday through Thursday, with offices closed on Fridays. Schools and offices will also be closed for those who are still working on Friday, July 3rd for the Independence Day holiday. Staff will work normal 8-hour days during that week. Please go to the GCPS website to find out about additional school activities, because they go on all summer long, and you will find lots of activities for June, July, and August on our website. And finally, and very short, because we've said these things a couple times, as this is my final meeting, I do want to take a final opportunity to once again recognize Dr. Miller. I am confident that she is well prepared to lead our school system forward with vision, integrity, and heart. And for everyone, Merry Christmas, I don't know. Best wishes for a wonderful summer. May you have time to relax and rejuvenate, enjoy the outdoors. And thank you again very much for the 3 years that I have been able to be with you. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. That's all I have.
Well, certainly thank you, Dr. McCartney, and I think we've all said numerous times how fortunate we were that you said yes and to help us. And again, we're very excited to work with Dr. Miller going forward. We think we really got a great hire, and we have nothing but successes to look forward to. With that being said, Don, was there anything you wanted to say?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Tom.
Okay, great. Take a motion to adjourn. So moved by Jane. Second by Sadie. All those in favor of adjourning public session, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. And we are adjourned. Thank you, Don, for attending.